get right into it. Let's get into the video, man. Listen, I know you guys like these body game videos, but like I said, the reason for these videos are for you guys to actually lock in, right? Number one. Number two, really focus on actually executing. Yeah, they can serve as motivation, but I'm just kind of telling you my experience, to be honest. Not if there's motivation in it, then that's just a side effect because the main thing is just the changes, right? The objective changes, not the subjective changes. Subjective changes, I downplay a lot of stuff, so there's a lot of subjective changes, but I pretty much primarily talk about the objective changes, right? Because when something's set in stone, it's set in stone. Like if you're like, man, I just want to weigh 180 and you're 150 right now, once you get to 180, the scale says 180. It is set in stone. All right, so same thing for body game. People roast you, people don't like you, people disrespect you before and then afterwards. People treat you differently. That's the objective of it. It's not subjective. It's actual, like what happens now. Body game is about mastering yourself, improving your mental health, right? Improving your mindset regarding nutrition, becoming the best version of yourself. A side effect of that is your body is going to get lean. You're going to have some muscle. Cool. That's just a side effect of it. You got to realize that your body is a physical representation of your discipline, of your mindset, and of your daily habits. All right. So once you get your mindset down, everything else is down. Once people see your body, they're like, oh, okay, he said no a lot. Number one. Number two, he's consistent with something, which means he has ambition, right? Because when it's raining outside, when your girl wants to watch Netflix, when your girl wants to watch cookies, and it's raining outside, and it's like you had a tough day yesterday at work, it's like it's easier to give into that, but to consistently be like, no, I got to go to the gym, I got to knock this out. That takes a lot of work, and a lot of people tend to disappoint themselves, let themselves down, and then they get mad when other people do well because they can't do it themselves. Anyways, let's get into my backstory a little bit. You guys already know this if you guys have been following me, but yeah, I was literally, if you like I said, if you ask my 2014 graduating class, now you guys know my age, so I'm cooked. But anyways, if you ask my 2014 graduating class, I'm easily the lamest person in the class. When I post pictures now, because hindsight is 2020, if I post this as a before picture, they'll be like, "Oh, you're cute. You were cute before." They're only saying that because now they see my after. Without the after, they're like, "Oh yeah, you're cooked." This is that. I didn't get a prom date, none of that shit, bro. I was getting cooked every single first period, like every day, every single day. I got cooked in first period, and I used to just go to first period. I'm like, oh, well, here comes the cooking. I'm about to get fucking cooked. All I did was read my book and chill, bro. I was just cool and I read my book and chilled. But I mean, people are gonna always take it. We live in an appearance based society. People are always gonna roast the person who's just below. You know what I mean? It's just is what it is. Like if you don't fit in, people are gonna roast you because like, why are you so different? Why are you so weird? Type shit. You see what I'm saying? But yeah, like I said, I was a skinny nerd, no muscle mass. What made it worse is I finally put on muscle my junior year because I was gonna play football my senior year, and then I got gastritis and I lost 30 pounds in like 2 weeks, mostly muscle. So then I lost my starting spot because I was in and out of the hospital for like the whole, like that year was the worst year of my life, like one of the worst years of my life, right? Because I lost my starting spot because I spent the next 5 weeks in and out of hospitals and doing different diagnostic tests. So I missed a bunch of practice and I was feeling like shit the whole time. I couldn't gain a single pound. Playing linebacker at 178 versus playing linebacker at 148 is just, it's not the same thing. Now, I still knocked some people out of the game at 148, but if I had that extra 30 pounds, that'd have been good. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, I lost my starting spot. It was a lot, man. Lost my confidence, lost a lot. I was already not very popular. A lot of people already thought I was like super weird because I was always reading and focused on nutrition. And the only time people would talk to me is like, hey man, can you get this homework assignment done? And me, like they would come to me right before class and be like, before this isn't senior year. This was like the end of junior year. They would come to me before class and be like, "Hey man, could you help me? Knock out these questions." And I'll just do the homework for them because it's so easy. It's like second nature. And they never talk to me again. And it's like that's kind of the interactions that I had on a daily basis. It sounds kind of sad right now, but I just didn't give a shit. Like I wasn't really living in reality anyways, and I wasn't very aware of these things, which is good. Because if I had my awareness I have now and I was that cooked back then, I'd probably be pretty depressed. But I wasn't depressed. I was just reading books. I like lived in books, right? I'm not gonna say I wasn't depressed. I was kind of cooked, and I didn't really like real life, so I just like lived in books. I read books, read fiction books, and just kind of lived in it. And then lived in anime. That's pretty much it. All right, man. So like I said, um, my sophomore year and freshman year, junior year, my brother was super popular. Well, sophomore and freshman because he's 2 years older than me, but he was super popular, super lean, and biggest example I had is nobody talked to me, but when they found out that was my brother, they would spend like the entire period talking to me, or they would, come up to me and talk to me and be like, hey, blah, 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 and have a whole conversation with me. And I'm like, oh shit, I'm pooling. I've never pooled before. And they'd be like, and by the way, what's your brother's number? And then I'd be like, uh, here you go. And as soon as I gave it to them, they just left and didn't even look at me, never talked to me again. And that's when I was like, oh, damn, I might be cooked. They're just coming up to me for my brother, because he was on BodyGame, he was in shape. I didn't realize it back then, but I was like, why is everyone so, drawn to him? Because he had aura, he had crazy aura. Like, bro had the most aura in school, and his physique was crazy. He wasn't the biggest dude, you know what I'm saying? He didn't have the craziest abs, but his V taper aesthetics was on point. All right. So how did I feel when I looked in the mirror, man? So I didn't do a lot of mirror looking. I didn't like to take pictures. I like to look in the mirror. You see what I'm saying? None of that shit. Because I wasn't proud of what I saw. Like I said, I spent most of my time in books. Like whoever the main character was in that book, that's who I would be for, the 1 week I'm reading that book, the 2 weeks I'm reading that book. I read all the Harry Potter books. I read all the Divergent books, the Hunger Game books. I read every series in the library because I used to work in the library, but that was kind of where I was. So when I would look in the mirror, I was like, yeah, man, I'm just cooked. I don't like how my physique looks. I have no shoulders. I wish I could have some muscle, but I can't. I had no ab definition. I would read bodybuilding.com. I would look at the teen. They used to have like these teen bodybuilder of the week, and they used to show what they eat, and they used to show how they look. And I was like, yo, they look crazy. That's insane. I could never look like that. That's impossible. And I would watch, some Physiques of Greatness, some Christian Guzman, and I was watching that stuff. I was absorbing the knowledge, but I wasn't applying it because I didn't believe in myself. Because I really never accomplished anything at that point, and I just thought it was kind of genetics, like a lot of you guys think right now. Before you get into your journey, you're like, oh yeah, it's all genetics. I'll never be this. I'll never be that. And when in reality, if you put in the work, you'll get some of the results that you want. You'll become the best version of yourself. All right, so finally decided to make a change. Not now. I really want to reiterate this quote. I freaking love this quote right here. All right. So discipline is choosing between what you want now and what you want most. All right. That instant gratification of, man, let me just eat this cookie now. That's gonna get you away from your goal. That instant gratification of when you're bulking and you're like, dog, I'm full, bro. I can't eat right now, man. I'm not gonna eat today. You're not going to gain the most you need to gain if you continually do that. All right. Stop giving into your emotions and actually follow through on your plan. And you'll realize that, okay, if I do everything I can, if I control everything I can, which is what BodyGame is about, it's about mastering yourself, controlling what you can, not focusing on all the other bullshit. Like, oh, African black genetics, oh, genetics. Don't focus on that shit. Focus on what you can control. You can control how you show up to the gym, how you show up in nutrition, your sleep, your water intake. Those are the things you can control. What you consume mentally, you can control all those things. So focus on that. All right. Now, before I got into nursing school, my brother and sister sat me down and made me set goals for the first time. And for me, I always thought that, goals were super cheesy to set goals. I was like, man, that's some corny ass bullshit, man. I ain't gonna do that dumbass shit. Especially coming from FAMU. I thought I was a YN, bro. Because I was like 19 at the time, and I went to FAMU for a year. I like turned into a YN low key. Not gonna lie. But anyways, that was the first time I ever set goals. And the crazy thing is, it was only like very easy goals. It was like get your personal training license, finish nursing school, add 10 pounds of muscle at least, get certified as a personal trainer. These were insane goals to me. I thought it was crazy. I thought those goals were super crazy, but I ended up accomplishing all of them. I was like, what the fuck? I wrote down some weird shit at the beginning of the year and I just stayed consistent and it happened. I was like, I don't know, that's kind of weird. It has to be a fluke. So then I kept setting goals, and that's something that's always been part of my routine since then. Because, like I said, I thought it was a fluke at first. I was like, that doesn't make any sense. Why, if you write something down and you read it like, a couple of times a month, why does that happen? That doesn't make any sense. It's because I never moved with intention before that point in my life. I was always moving without intention. I felt like I had no purpose. And when you don't move with intention, it just every day is the same. You're not going anywhere. You're not moving anywhere. Like you're just going in circles. You don't have a plan to improve physique wise. You don't have a plan to improve mentally. You don't have a plan to improve financially. You don't have a plan to learn more. You just have no plan. You're just kind of like, oh yeah, I played this video game yesterday. I ate one piece of pizza yesterday. I'll eat one and a half today. I'll eat two pieces of pizza today. Like you just have no structure, right? No purpose. So yeah, my 12-year journey, guys. So I started when I was 16 because of football, or 15 because of football. So I had the strength. Like I told you guys, I was 148 and I could bench 270, which is, people think that's strong. But for the powerlifting competition, they make you pause. So I could do pause. So I could do 250 pause at 148, which no one at 148 was doing that shit. So I was like destroying them. But I had the strength. I just didn't have the muscle mass because of my nutrition, right? But when I finally made fitness a lifestyle, which means when you make fitness a lifestyle, it doesn't only mean you show up to the gym. It means you change your mindset and think of yourself as the leanest version of yourself, which when you do that, guess what happens, guys? You change your nutrition. You change your nutrition, which is majority of your results, all right? Which means when you're trying to gain muscle, you eat more than you feel like eating. When you're trying to lose fat, you eat less than you feel like eating. That's the discipline. That's the mastery. That's the self mastery. It is not easy, but it'll change your life because once you master yourself, that means that you can progressively overload, you know, you could progressively overload in every other aspect of your life. All right. So the biggest thing for me was inspiring thousands and helping thousands get into shape, via social media, of course, but also like when I was doing in-person training, I was like changing people's lives, changing their perspective. But online, being able to really change people's mindset on nutrition, like, hey, it's easy, calorie deficit, instead of all this fancy stuff like, hey man, you have to do keto and then you have to switch up and do water fast. Instead of all that dumb bullshit, just like, hey, it's high protein calorie deficit. And just like people DMing me and asking me questions, and I'm like, no, 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 no. Cut out everything you're doing, do this. And they're like, really? That can't be. And then they get results and they're like, wow, that really worked. And then training people, them signing on to the program, me changing their life, their blood pressure going down, getting off blood pressure medication, cholesterol medication, getting off type 2 diabetic medication, reducing insulin resistance, reversing type 2 diabetes. All that stuff has been, awesome. And I'm very glad that I've been able to do that. And it's not something I really envisioned at first. I just thought that, what, I might gain muscle, but probably not. That was like, that, promise you, that's it. That was it. I was like, I might gain muscle, probably not. That was my aspirations when I started. All right, is that not the worst aspiration you ever heard of? And you could ask my brother. If my brother's watching this, he'll attest to it. I used to say every freaking day, right? I even told him for Christmas, for like the first two Christmases, I told him I want a bigger upper chest and traps. I said upper chest and traps every single day for like 3 years straight. It was the most annoying thing ever, right? Because I literally fixate on things until I get it. Like I used to say, man, I want a PS3 Xbox 360. I want a PS3 Xbox 360 because my parents would buy it for me. So when I first started working my job, finally had the money. I got a PS3 with the bundle, with the Last of Us bundle. I was so happy, shit like that. But anyways, yeah, you got to remember, money is gonna come and go, but you can't take away a fit body. You can't. Like you could lose all your money at once, but as far as like a fit body, it's gonna take a while to lose it. Like you got to eat like shit for a long time. But a fit body is usually comes from a fit mind. So when your mind is fit, to get it unfit takes a while. All right, that's why it's like people are like, "Well, you have a fit body. What if you lost it?" It's like you don't understand. You don't understand. Like the fit body is not there because we want to just have a fit body. I mean, it's nice to have one, but we're not just like, oh, I want to be lean. I want to be lean. I want to see my abs. Like, it's not that vain. It's like, I want to be the healthiest version of myself. I want to be locked in. I want to be mentally sharp. Because you want that, your body's going to be fit. That's how it works. All right. So, how fitness increased my discipline? Like I said, the hardest thing is like bulking and cutting are the same hard, right? Pause. Because what actually happens is like gaining muscle is hard, gaining fat's easy. Losing fat while maintaining muscle is hard. Losing muscle is easy. All right. So if you want to gain fat, all you can literally eat whatever you want to, and you'll gain fat. If you want to lose muscle, just eat a little bit less food, but you can eat cookies still. You'll get skinny fat. The hardest part is gaining muscle, right? While minimizing fat gain because you have to eat a lot of high volume foods, which means you're going to be full all the time. You might be bloated a lot more initially. You might have some GERD initially. All these things are going to happen. But if you want your bicep and you want your chest to be popping, you want your shoulders to get bigger, you have to do that. So like for me, after my first month of bulking, I was full for the entire bulk. All right. It just is what it is. I was always fucking full. It was horrible. I was always, always, always full. But that's what I needed to do to get to my goals. Right. And then when I was cutting, I had those hunger pangs. But guess what? If you want to get lean, if you want to see your abs, you don't want to be like everybody else, and you want to be the best version of yourself, guess what you got to do? You got to continue to, persist even if you're having hunger pangs. Just ignore them. Just lock in, drink more water, drink more coffee, drink more tea, drink some sparkling water, some diet soda, anything. Just don't drink. Just don't eat extra calories. You're good. All right. And then sometimes you can't go out as much because going out will throw you off your goals because guess what? There's drinks over here and you'll be up an extra hour. You'll lose sleep. And when you lose sleep, your leptin and ghrelin levels will be off. So there's a lot of sacrifices you have to make. A lot of people don't realize the absolute damage going out does. If you go out and you have a few drinks, when you have a few drinks, guess what? Your frontal lobe is affected. Your decision making is worse. So what are you going to have? Late night tacos, late night pizza. College towns always have late night pizza, by the way. Late night cookies, midnight insomnia cookies, whatever they call it, or you'll have like McDonald's. That's the only things that are open at night. So you'll make a bad decision on top of drinking liquor, which slows down fat loss anyways. So that'll throw you off. And then the next day you're trying to recover. And then the day after that, you're almost normal. And then 3 days later, you're finally normal again and you can pick back up on your routine. And by that time, it's almost halfway to the weekend, right? So you cannot get results that way. It's just not going to happen. All right. Fitness also taught me about, delaying gratification because I remember when I really wanted to grow my traps, which I thought was impossible because I was telling my friend, I was like, you can't grow traps. He's like, bro, be consistent, be consistent, be consistent, be consistent. I met him in nursing school, but he was like, be consistent. They're going to come in, man. Stay positive. I was like, what is he talking about? Why is he so confident? because I would be like, look, there's nothing there. There's supposed to be an insertion. I was just making up a bunch of shit of why I couldn't do it, and he was focused on why I could do it. So I just kept progressively overloading with the Smith machine, shrugs, and eventually, once I got the 6 plates on the Smith machine shrugs, and I was just shrugging it, shrugging it, shrugging it. I just and doing upright rows. I was just doing it all the time, and then months and months later, like 7 months into my book, I think some dude was like, "How'd you get your traps like that?" And I was like, "You talking about my friend?" He's like, "No, no, dude, your traps are crazy." I was like, "Seriously?" I just didn't happen 7 months ago. I was like, "Dude, do this, do that," and I was like, "Wow, bro." Me locking in the power of the compound effect, me locking in and day out, and just showing up and eating more food got me those traps. Like that's crazy. Like it actually happened. Like it literally started from nothing. When I say I had 0% traps, 0% traps. It looked like there was no muscle growth potential. If I asked anybody, they'd be like, "Yeah, you can't grow traps. It's just you just don't have the potential. Try something else." All right. Your family and your friends are going to change how they see you as well. Like my family used to just see me as a lame dude. They're just like, "Oh, whatever. Who cares about this kid? He's cooked. Like, why does he look like that?" And then I put on the muscle. They're like, "Hey, Mr. Muscle, like, what's going on? Hey, how do I lose this fat? Hey, I tried doing this. Should I do the keto or should I do this or should I stop eating Haitian rice or should I do this? Should I do that?" So how they view me changed, which they had a lot more respect because first of all they seen where I started. You know what I mean? It's not like I was a 12-year-old jock or something. Like they seen how cooked I was. All right, so they're like, "Oh, this nigga really put in some fucking work," because I went from no hairline, no earrings, no tats, no physique, no aura, no like muscle at all, to having muscle and everything. So it's like you put in a lot of work, took a lot of time on that. You really worked on yourself for real. You said no to things that didn't help you. Like that is gonna garner respect. If anyone can say no to things that they want to say yes to consistently, then they're already above like majority of people. They just are. You just are. It's not easy. All right, so dating before and after fitness, you guys already know how it works. So here's the thing, guys. Here's the thing. Like when I before I was fit, man. Before I was fit, man. Obviously, I was reaching out to chicks. They were ignoring me. High school, I got no chicks. First year of college, I got some choosing signals because I started to change my look a little bit, but still nothing. Right. When I really locked in on fitness, put on the muscle after nursing school, a lot of the chicks that used to reject me, a lot of the chicks that ignored me, didn't know I existed, I started posting on Snapchat more often when I was working out and going to work as a personal trainer. And those same chicks that rejected me, all they had to do was scroll up and see them rejected me. But they're like, "Oh my God, when did I start following you?" They put hard eyes there and shit. And they wanted to link up with me. And I was like, holy shit. Like, just because I got more fit, it changed. Like, literally. And it's like, chicks are always going to say, "Oh my God, like his personality matters." My personality was the same before. I'm watching Naruto before, I got fit. I'm still watching Naruto when I get fit. So what really changed? My physique. That's the only thing that changed. Now, obviously, I have to be more ambitious, disciplined, and more purposeful and intentional when I have a physique. So that changed too. So those characteristics usually align with success. So that's more attractive too. But as far as like personality, no, my personality didn't change. I'm still a freaking weird introvert like I was before too. Shit didn't change. So yeah, like it's crazy. And then majority of it was like when you have a fit physique. Here's the thing. Here's what you guys got to realize. If you have abs, right, but you have like muscle too, when you interact with a chick, you are gonna be one of the only people that she's had that been like that. Unless she's just one of those girls that gets ran through by college football teams and college basketball teams. Majority of the time, like if you're just in a random town and or you meet a girl at work or something and you're lean, you're gonna be one of the only lean people she's been with. So she's always gonna spin the block. I constantly have chicks spinning the block. As we speak, there's chicks spinning the block. Whether it's Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram, just spinning the block, finding me and being like, "I remember that dude from a couple of years ago. I wonder what he's up to." And I'm always progressing, getting leaner, and they're like, "Dang, like I remember this is that." And then they just hit me up again. They're always spinning the block because of that, because you are different. Like majority of people chicks date, if they're in like long-term relationships, it's probably going to be some out of shape people, right? It's probably going to be some people who are trying to overcompensate with funds and shit like that, so they're not going to have that experience, like that genuine attraction like they have for you. And a lot of times chicks will be like, "You know what, I want something long-term. I don't want the drama that comes with being with the lean dude, so I'm just going to be with this dude." But at the same time, they're still attracted to the lean dude. You cannot, like, a chick is always going to be attracted to the lean dude. Like, here's the thing. If there's a girl out there that's super feminine, right? She has a fatty, she has a small waist, you know what I'm saying? She's tatted a little bit, and she cooks for you, she has the right attitude. You're gonna be attracted to that. That's gonna be your top choice, right? That's gonna be your top choice versus some chick who has the same qualities isn't as attractive, right? However, usually if a chick is that attractive, these days they'd be on like OnlyFans or having a lot of issues unless they're in like a low key time or some shit like that, or they come with a lot of drama, right? So that's exactly how it is like how the girls look at it. They'll be like, "Oh wow, he's a lean dude. He might come with a lot of drama, but they're still genuinely attracted to you. Like they're still gonna pick you. Like they're still gonna pick Chris Brown over their boyfriend. Like how many girls lost their boyfriend because of Chris Brown? They don't give a shit. They don't regret it. It is what it is. Like in reality, and you cannot blame them. This is my problem with dudes. Like you have to look at the situation. Why do you want a chick to want you if you're out of shape, you smell like ass, you don't get haircuts, and you don't inspire anybody, and you sit down all day? Like why do you want a chick to want you? And it doesn't make any sense. You literally cannot get mad at chicks because you don't inspire other dudes and you don't inspire your friends. So why would a chick be attracted to you anyways? You want to sit at home, play video games, beat your meat, smell like bust, and not have a haircut, and the only thing you know how to do is get to level 30 on a video game, and you want a chick to just come into your house and like be with you. That to me, that doesn't make sense anyways. It just doesn't make sense. It doesn't. Because read any book about someone who's successful, they're constantly out there networking, becoming better, and becoming more ambitious, becoming mentally stronger. You don't get mentally strong by beating your meat and falling into instant gratification 24/7. You just don't. And if you're not mentally strong, that means you haven't put the work in. If you haven't put the work in, you're not going to be of value to anybody. This is what it is. All right. So obviously my experiences, running into, running errands, going to grocery stores and stuff like that. So obviously when I'm running errands, I'm wearing like, I'm probably just wearing a tank top. If I come back from the gym, I got a pump, I'm wearing a tank top, man. Like, so I'm just going to the store. People be looking at me like, oh shit, that dude's definitely lean, shit like that. And I've actually got people come up to me like, hey man, how do you get your shoulders, your biceps like that? What do I do for abs? What do I do for this? What do I do for that? So a lot of questions because you guys got to realize, so like social media, a lot of people on social media like that are pretty famous or have good physiques. In order to look like that, you have to have a pretty locked in schedule. Like a lot of chicks, if you look at the store, they'll even say like, I don't want someone who's out at the club. Because if you're out at the club consistently and you're not Drake, like Drake obviously has millions, he could go to the club, right? But he's always working anyways. But like if you're always at the club, that means you're not prioritizing yourself, you're prioritizing chasing chicks, which means guess what? You're going to be drinking and buying bottles, which means you're going to be broke from buying bottles. And from drinking, you're going to be out of shape. So you can't get in shape. You can't become the best version of yourself if that's what you're prioritizing. So the dudes who are prioritizing themselves, popping out to the club, they don't do that very often. If they do it once a weekend, they're still keeping it pretty lean, maybe one shot here or there. But at the end of the day, like all my homeboys, that are leaner than me, they go to the club maybe 10 times a year, max. But realistically, maybe less than five, because you're so locked in, you have a routine and you have structure, right? So when people see that in real life, they're like, damn, I don't see that in real life. I only see that on social media. Like when you have that social media look, like when I go to get my car washed, when I go anywhere, people are like, hey, aren't you a famous basketball player? I'm like, no. They're like, aren't you a famous football player? I'm like, no. Like, oh, okay, because you have that look, like you got that aura with you. You got the look. You're lean, which means you probably work out a lot and you probably eat healthy, and then you have the aura, and it's like, damn, man, like this dude got to be somebody. Like you could tell. Here's the thing: everybody can tell. Now, I'm not. This is not talking about chicks. Dudes can tell too when you're that nigga. They're like, he's that nigga, and then they'll approach you and ask you questions and shit like that, and they'll be like, you do this, don't you? You do that, don't you? Like they know you're that nigga because of how you look and how you carry yourself. You're gonna carry yourself with a lot more pride when you're doing everything you said you would do. It is what it is. All right. So obviously, when it comes to interest with women, I know a lot of you guys are always like, "Oh, what happens with women?" You're going to become the first option to a lot of women just because you're locked in. It is what it is. You're going to become the first option for a lot of women because you're locked in. All right. It is what it is. They're not going to see a lot of you. A lot of chicks complain on their stories a lot because guess who's chasing them? Some crusty ass dudes who don't work on themselves. And guess who they're chasing? Some dude who's locked in, some dude who has his own business, some dude who's always working out, trying to stay in the best shape, trying to get fitter, trying to network more, trying to go to more events, traveling. That's who they're chasing. All right. Like Chris Brown has a busy ass schedule. You got to realize that. And more chicks are attracted to him than they are some dude who's going to send them flowers and, try to spend 24/7 with them. It is what it is. Like women will offer to pay for dates. I'm not saying let them pay for dates. You pay for the dates, right? Unless you're really cooked like I was back in the day. But like you pay for the dates, they're gonna want to fly you out. They'll do anything. See, which is only because you provide, like you have value. Like so, any dude who's been flown out, you're not like, oh my god, I got flown out. This is so cool. No, you're like, yeah, I'm pretty valuable. My time's pretty valuable. So it makes sense that they flew me out because I don't have time to be allocating towards doing this, doing that, and it's not my priority. It is what it is. It's not that complicated. Like my homeboys, chicks flew out to them multiple times. They got flown out. My homeboy got flown out and paid for training and shit like that. Like chicks will fly them out and pay them for training for like a whole week and fly them out to like the nicest hotel and shit like that. It's shit's crazy. It is what it is though. It's like when you provide value and you're different, it's like you're rare. People want to be around that because they do not see that on a daily basis. And another reason you don't see it on a daily basis, like most chicks are not going to see me on a daily basis. They just won't. The only way to reach me is going to be probably social media because I just have a locked in schedule, and my schedule does not include partying 24/7, going to day parties and house parties and shit like that. Now, there's some dudes who do that and they do a good balance, and that's their thing, and it works. But I'm just not going to be doing that. Period. All right. So some more experiences running groceries and stuff. Like I said, after a workout, this is probably why I'm wearing the grocery store just because it is what it is. But when you're super lean, you don't have the bulky steroid look, and you have a decent ratio, then like people are gonna just notice. It is what it is. Dudes are gonna ask you questions and stuff like that. It's pretty cool to get questions from dudes when you used to be the one asking questions 24/7 though, and actually helping them. They're like, hey man, can I follow you on Instagram? I need to learn how to do this. I need to learn workouts for this. Things like that, man. So that's pretty cool. And multiple times chicks have like, left their number or gave me their number, wrote down their number and put on my card or some shit like that. Because here's the thing. Let me tell you guys something, man. When you got a pump, when you have a pump from coming from the gym and you have aura, bro. You have aura and the sun hits, I'm telling you, bro, you reach God level. Like here's the thing. I already told the story, but you guys need to know the aura behind it. Like I just hit the workout. I'm like, man, I'm locked in, bro. I ain't playing no more, man. I'm locked in. I'm eat what I need to eat. This is that. I got my workout in. It was a good, solid workout, man. Good push day workout. And I pull up the target. I get out my Camaro and shit like that. The sun's hitting, and I'm really feeling myself. I close the door, lock the door, and some chicks looking at me. I'm not gonna look at you, all right? But I'm just not gonna look at you. So I just walk in the store, come back out the store when I got my groceries, and it was a baddie, bro. She like, I mean, I thought she was alright, but then she put her Instagram on my car, and I looked. I was like, yeah, she bad as fuck, bro. She real bad. So like, yeah, shit like that's gonna happen way more often when you're locked in because, like I said, you provide value. Simple. Work interactions are gonna be way crazier. Not gonna lie, but the main work interaction I wanted to talk about is just when I started as a trainer. I already told you guys the story too, but like going through it is always, even talking about it is always going to be surprising to me because I could not get an in-person client because they had to force in-person clients to be with me because like I was so cooked. I was skinny. I looked like a janitor, and they'd be like, aren't you the janitor? I'm like, no, I work here. I'm a personal trainer. They're like, oh, because I was skinny, didn't fit into my shirt, my arms didn't fit my shirt. It's like 150 soaking wet, and it was bad, man. I couldn't get clients, and the clients I got, they didn't want to be with me. They're like, this dude's cooked. And then like everyone wanted to be with the fitness manager. His schedule was booked. His schedule was booked for like 48 hours, and he was jacked and he was super cool. And that was one of my eye opening moments where I was like, you know what? We really are an appearance based society. We really are an appearance based society. I need to lock in and do better. Right. That was one of those moments for me. All right. And then I forgot to say, and then at the end of the year, once I actually bulked, because that was like February. By the end of the year, like October, when I bulked up for like 8 months, put on some solid muscle for real, took my nutrition seriously because, like I said, my weights are already strong. I was already squatting 225 for reps. I was already benching 245 for reps. I was just skinny, right? Like I was one of those people that's like, I look weak as hell, but I'm stronger than most people. And no one wants to be that. You rather look strong and be weak. Like let's just keep it up. So by the end of the year, I got, I put on a lot of muscle, and people at the gym, right, that I worked at. I worked at a different gym because I said, man, fuck that old gym. I worked at a new gym, and people started literally like coming up to me and be like, hey man, like I can't believe like you made that transformation. I saw your Instagram. This is that, and they're like, hey man, how do you get like this? And then it was easier to get clients because they're like, oh, he works out. Like that's the first thing people look at. They're like, oh, he works out. Same thing for every job, dude. If you're a real estate agent and you're lean, people are gonna be like, I don't know what it is, but like I like that guy. Versus if you're just sloppy and you smell like ass because you have so much fat, like they're just gonna be like, I don't know about the guy. Something's wrong with him. So it is what it is. So like I said, inspiring others has been huge, right? By the way, this is the greatest lighting in the world. I need to find lighting in a gym like this. I only find lighting in bathrooms like that. But anyways, changing lives doing in-person training has been amazing. Like I said, taking people off their blood pressure medication, taking them off type 2 diabetes, making them reverse pre-diabetes when they thought it was genetic. And it's like, no, type 1 is genetic, not type 2, not insulin resistance, all right? It's just nice to see people come off those medications because when you're on medications and you're the heaviest you've been in your life, you're the most out of shape you've been in your life, guess what? You feel like you lost yourself. You feel like you have no control over your life. Feeling like you have no control of your life is what we call hopelessness, and it's the worst feeling in the world. So when you can gain back that control and take back that control, it's amazing, and it's going to take you to the next level. And that's what's up. All right. So another thing I wanted to say is, hold on, damn, I forgot to put a picture there. All right, but yeah, guys, fitness, like I said earlier in the beginning, like fitness is literally mastering yourself. People think it's literally just, oh, I look a certain way, you know, like to get to looking a certain way. Guess what you got to do? You have to change your mindset and change your perspective. You have to become a different person because if you're like an average person, you're going to look like an average person. The average male is 28% body fat. So if you have average thoughts, you're going to look average. When you have above average thoughts, when you're very locked in, when you're serious about your goals and you literally delay that gratification, you are going to get to the next level. All right. Fitness is not literally just about, you know what, I'm just going to take steroids. No, it's about being the healthiest version of yourself, about showing up when you're not motivated, having that integrity, not pressing the snooze button every single time, putting your gym clothes on when you don't feel like it, when you had a hard day at work, when you might have got fired from your job, when you might have to switch jobs, when you have a lot of life stress, prioritizing it. All right. Simple, simple, simple. Now, man, what happened to the pictures? The pictures didn't upload, bro. Seriously. Opportunities that come with body games. So I've gotten a lot of different, like partnerships, paid partnerships via Instagram, just because obviously, I'm in shape. So like some gyms, linked up with me, some different companies linked up with me, supplement company opportunities, different things like that. And you get free supplements, you get free clothes sometimes. Like it's pretty cool. Those opportunities are pretty cool, but you also get more exposure. So, you might meet somebody that's a lifelong friend, or you might meet somebody that becomes a client. There's a lot of different other things that happen. Photographers as well. They're going to reach out to you because they're going to be like, hey, you have a good body that's going to look good in pictures, things like that. And by the way, one more thing I wanted to say, because I know y'all be saying some dumb goofy stuff. Like with these pictures, y'all be like, oh, it's got to be AI, it's got to be fixed. Listen, when you learn how to use a professional camera and you get lean, you're going to look like this. Here's the thing. If you're 40% body fat and you do the same pose, your stomach's going to be hanging out. All right. You're going to have to widen the picture or change the angle because your stomach's not going to fit in the shit. All right. Literally learn how to use the camera. All right. Put it in manual mode. Find some decent lighting. It doesn't have to be great lighting because you have a camera. And you're going to look lean if you're lean. If you're not lean, you're just not going to look lean. People are always like, oh, it's AI. No, no, nigga. This is not. Anyways, same thing. If I was 40% body fat in this picture, I'd be cooked. Here's the thing about social media, right? Just imagine if I'm just seriously imagine 40% body fat, my stomach's out here, my titties are hanging, my face is fat, right? There's no shoulders, no arm definition. That would be cooked. That'd be cooked. Right? The tattoos would look stretched and disgusting as well. And I probably have some body hair and some acne, all that shit, right? Anyways, here's the thing about social media and body game. People are like, hey, how do I build my personal brand? It starts with your physique. It literally does, especially as a guy. It starts with your physique. That's the first thing people are going to notice, all right? If you're super out of shape, you're going to have to overcompensate by being the best talker in the world or like knowing the most people ever. If you're in shape, you're going to get a lot more respect and a lot more attention. Here's the thing. I don't care what anyone says. If you're 10 to 15% body fat, you have a clean cut, you're automatically going to get 10K followers. It is what it is. Like this picture got, I think it was like 15,000 likes, 14,000 likes. Why? Because I'm lean in the picture. It's good lighting, period. All right. If I wasn't lean in this picture, it wouldn't get any likes. If I had a big stomach in the same picture, in the same lighting, I might get 5 likes. It'd be my mom, my sister, my aunts. Like, let's just keep it a book. It's very simple. All right. We live in an appearance based society. If you don't like it, go to Mars. All right. If you can't get to Mars, then why don't you fix your fucking life instead of waiting for the world to change? It's not going to happen. The world is not going to change just because you're like, you know what? People, it should be okay to be fat. Here's the reason it's not okay to be fat. It's not because of appearance. Well, it kind of is because we're appearance based society, but it's because the appearance represents lack of good health. It just does. Anyone who works in the medical field, if more people were lean and eating what the fuck they're supposed to, guess what? The hospitals will be way emptier. People wouldn't be on medication. The pharmaceutical companies will go out of business. It's not that deep. Excess fat, not good. Not a good thing. All right. Anyways, if you're looking to lose 20 plus, pounds, 6 plus inches, link is in the description. Listen, do not book a call if you're not serious. All that dumb, goofy shit. Listen, I've got on some calls lately. There's some goofy shit going on, bro. There's some goofy shit like, oh, wait till January 1st. Nigga, what the hell is going to change January 1st? The date? Like nothing else is changing. Oh, wait, the holiday. Anyone who says that shit is not going to be successful. It's cooked. People starting on January 1st is just the dumbest idea. What's the difference between January 1st and now? There is no difference. Now, when you believe there's a difference between now and January 1st, when you get to January 1st and the work is just as hard and, it requires the same amount of mental strength to be consistent, you'll be like, oh, there's no magical shit that happens January 1st. Why the fuck did I wait this long? Very simple shit, right? Anyways, link is in the description. Y'all stay blessed.